not easy, ever. What are your biggest challenges you think to getting mentioned in those same things, or getting your awareness out there as a company with such specialist equipment? What about with EV charging?
In what sense?
So is that, do you see any...
There is problems. So I say if an EV charger sees 253 volts, some of them just instantly shut off, and people are waking up with
dead cars.
Yeah.
So with all fire, it presents as a hazard.
You've also got the issue there where if you
see the regulations changing.
Do you think they will?
From what I'm seeing, the complaints are bi-weekly.
This is Talk Up. Turn it on. More than noise, more than talk. This is where the industry speaks. Talk Up.
Guys, welcome back to Talk Up. Thanks for joining as always. Today I'm really excited to have the guys on from CA UK, who I've been trying to get on since the beginning because they have kindly sponsored the entire season, which you guys should know by now. So today I'll let them introduce themselves and do their own read, which we're expecting to be the best read of the season, not only because Jimbo and Jay aren't here, but because no one knows CA better than these two guys here. So guys, welcome to the show. If you want to introduce yourselves.
So first of all, it will be the best reading.
There we go.
So I'm Elliot from Chauvin Arnoux, and I'm the regional salesperson. I manage the South, and I manage Zach as well.
There you go. That's it. Look
at that sideward one. That's just before we start. How enjoyable! But
that's a polite way of saying don't cuss out your boss on the podcast while he's sitting next to you.
That's it.
He's also a big
mindfulness.
And I'm Zach, the regional sales in the North and applications engineer.
And you probably know Zach because he does all the reads and I drop in on the adverts for all your episodes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So guys, thanks very much. How long was your drive today?
I actually went to the office in Dewsbury first, which is an hour and a half.
Right.
And then from there, it was 4 or 5 hour.
Nice.
4 or 5 hour drive. We love
Yeah. For me, it's been, when did I come? I came down yesterday. So last night, arrived here, stayed in a hotel, and then come down.
Where'd they put you up?
We were in a Holiday Inn. So
that's okay.
It was quite a nice hotel, to be honest. There's one in the centre of, centre. So it was really nice. Scenic views, looking over the water, beautiful.
Lots of scenic views around here.
It's lovely.
Yeah, that's
lovely. Very nice.
You either get mountains one side or the water the other side. There's not, it doesn't leave you too much room for expansion. When I first moved here, obviously I'm from a city originally.
Where are you from?
From London originally.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
In the area. Then I moved to a place called, lived in Germany for a while, and then Bicester, and then Cheltenham, and then South Wales.
So you've been about.
Yeah.
Well travelled, as they say.
I've
A seasoned traveller.
I've lived in South Wales longer than I've lived in anywhere else, but I haven't picked up the accent.
Why? Can I ask? A bit personal, but why Germany? Were you just there for a period of time?
It wasn't a choice. I was 4,
Okay.
I was 4, so my old man got a job out there.
Yeah.
So we just went.
Oh, nice.
So I picked up bags and went.
Okay.
Thought,
So it was childhood. You were in there during childhood and stuff.
I was 4 until I was, I want to say 9, 10. Something like that. Come back.
Any German?
Yeah, fluent. And then my sister.
Still?
Yeah.
That's debatable there.
Yeah. So my sister's first language was German.
Okay.
She lives out in Canada now. But they also don't speak German. But her first language was German. And then mine was English-ish, but you're like 4 years old language.
Minimal.
But, I could read German before I could read English. And then when I moved back then, we always spoke English at home. But when I was a kid, I used to be able to think in English and speak in English. And then when I was obviously around German people, I used to be able to think in German and speak in German. Okay. Now I think in English and translate it and try and speak German, and it's not the same.
Don't work.
It doesn't. No. One of those moments where you do that broken English thing where you speak in German and you throw a couple of extra English words in because I don't know what I'm saying anymore. And when you realise when you're 10 years old, you don't know many adult words. Like I don't know what the word is for receipt in German. I ain't got a clue. I never needed one at 10.
Well, yeah, you never.
So it's-
excuse me, can I have the receipt, please? It's not
stuff like
something
that.
you do until you're like, in your
so-
18s, you know.
Yeah, so what about you guys? So whereabouts in the country?
background.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
based, where am I based? So I live in Norwich, which is in the
Norwich.
east, Norfolk.
Yeah.
good
I know it
old
well. I
Norfolk.
spent most of my summers there. My grandparents lived in.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Darren way they did.
Dear,
So, little
yeah.
village. Yeah, they lived in.
I live in Norwich.
Also very scenic.
Very scenic, very flat as well.
Very flat
not as
compared
many
to here.
hills
No,
as
not
what's
at
going
all.
on over here. So
very
it's
flat,
it's
very
nice
flat.
to see some nice mountains, is what we call them. So a bit about me. I've sort of been, in the industry since I was 16.
Wow.
So started off doing calibration. As all electricians.
How
have
does a
to send-
16-year-old get into doing calibrations? Go on.
So I went to college at 14.
Right.
I'll be transparent. Schooling was something that I struggled with in the sense of attention side and didn't enjoy it as much as I should have, just being honest. Went to college at 14 and done a general construction course. I really liked the electrical side of that, and that was just a base touch on electrical, plumbing, a bit of carpentry and stuff, a little bit of bricklaying, and there was two that I liked. So I liked bricklaying and I liked the electrical side. But I'm 6'5", as you know. So
Yeah. I remember the first time you stood up. I was like, fuck.
he gets a sore neck daily.
The first time we sat down was at the Elect show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was you and Julian. We sat there and we had a little
Julian,
meeting.
yeah.
Yeah, bless him. And we sat down and had a conversation. And then you stood up. I'm thinking, Christ, like you're a lot bigger than you look.
Who is this giant?
Yeah, because we went out for the curry afterwards, didn't we?
Yeah,
it was good.
That was nice. It was a
Yeah,
nice
but,
night. Nice
probably the tallest rep in the industry. Well, very close, isn't it?
I'm up there.
Definitely
I'm
up there. Definitely up there.
So I went to done that for until I was about 16, and then went and got offered 2 apprenticeships at the time. One was in being a Sparky, and then the other one was being electrical technician. I chose to do the electrician route. Chose to do the technician route.
Why did you choose that over being a spark?
I spoke to a Sparky. at the time. So my dad, I'm going into family stuff here, but my dad was dating someone and her son was Sparky. His name was Joe. And so he was a Sparky. And I said, look, what kind of bit of advice? What way should I go?
Yeah.
And I think he'd had enough of calling round through lofts and he was doing the domestic side rather than the commercial, so it wasn't as nice as it could have been for him. And he sort of said, look, you're a 6'5" guy. Obviously bricklaying, my dad steered me away from it because I am so tall, and as soon as you get up to a certain point, they move it all up again. So my back would be stuff. So made the choice to be a calibration technician for a company called Norwich Instrument Services, which have a contract for one of the biggest DNOs. So UK Power Networks is who they have a contract for. So I went and done that, and then after about a decade, I sort of went up to the management team as
Matt, when you say decade over 10 years, it just has some gravitas. Of
course
Yeah,
it
yeah,
has.
it does.
You've got to chuck a
always say that.
decade
That's what
out.
yeah,
he
There's
likes the decade.
There is
He
no
likes that
10
word.
years.
No,
Over a
100%,
decade is the
100%,
one. Is the one to
100%.
use. So over a decade doing calibrations, and then I got quite. It's quite very similar. Obviously, you're looking at parameters and of test equipment basically, and checking it's within the manufacturer's specification. So I made a choice to change. I made a choice to go into a technical services position and support UK Power Networks with all their technical training for instrument technical training. So if a new bit of equipment got approved on the network, I'd go out and show them how to use it and train them in that. So
So you've been out dealing with guys on site, dealing with problems as they're happening, going through this stuff since you were a kid, basically.
Yeah.
That's mad, fair play.
Yeah.
So someone who couldn't concentrate at school.
That's why I'm losing so much hair. So it's been.
So how long have you been at CA now then?
CA's coming up. I want to say coming up to 2 years.
Right.
And
We both kind of joined at the same time, didn't we?
yeah. So we joined. I think Zach was a month before me, weren't you?
Yeah, 1 month before.
Yeah. So we joined at the same time, and so we've been there 2 years, and it's been really good. The company itself is one that not a lot of people have heard of, and we've obviously been. Well, we're here to change that. We're here to grow the company exponentially, as we all want in any
what we're
business
all
that we
aiming
work
for,
for.
innit?
That's it.
Of course. But I'm loving the role at the moment, and the team that we work with is, it's a good team.
So go on then, Zach. So how was your journey then? Did you start at 14?
No, not quite that young. Not quite that young. But I was by trade. I'm a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
So I did went after school. basically straight C's in school. Just about hit the mark.
Sure, I've got to use your C.
and then
You're the most qualified person here already now.
yeah, and then got into engineering. My dad was an engineer, so kind of just followed followed my dad into engineering really, and then did my apprenticeship. Got an apprenticeship at a engineering company, and then did my HNC after that.
Yeah.
So I were in engineering for over a decade.
Yes, that's the one. Don't forget it.
Over a decade. And then, pretty much I did kind of just got sick of it really. Yeah. Shifts, early's backs, doing the same thing over and over again.
It's a graft, isn't it?
You do get sick of it's something that takes a long time to learn, but then once you've learnt it,
it's very
and then there's obviously if you know where the progression is in the different companies and certain stuff like that. But I wanted to obviously keep learning, and there were just I felt like I kind of hit the
glass ceiling.
Yeah. So then that's when I decided to
dramatically change.
You went straight from that to CA.
Straight from mechanical engineering to CA. Yeah.
It's picked a lot up though.
That's it, because that's a shift, because you're going from an engineer to a sales role. I mean, don't take this the wrong way. Your background was I'm dealing with these. You're communicating with people already. You're problem solving in that situation. I suppose you were.
Yes,
personality though shines.
It's
decide to go drop. This is what I've been doing for a decade, right? I've been doing for a decade, and then I'm going to go into a sales environment. I mean, sales can make or break anyone at the best of time, even if that's all they know. Do you know what I mean? But
of course.
That's a hell of a shift. Fair play.
Yeah. So
you're still there, so you can't be doing too bad.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's doing well. He's doing well.
So, but yeah, it's a big shift. There's a lot to learn. So yeah, but I'm enjoying it now.
Guys, let's talk about a lot to learn. All right? So I don't want to make this a big CA sales pitch, and I know that's not why you guys are here. No. I want to talk about a lot to learn. I think one of the biggest things, so I spoke to a lot of people before we did the episode about CA, what they want to know, and a lot of people have no idea, right, how much stuff you do, and there's only a small percentage of people that know how to actually use the stuff you make. Yeah. So it's, I can imagine it is from an employee's perspective. Like if you're going in to try and sell it, first of all you have to understand it.
So we choose products that we think are ultimately going to be beneficial for the industry and try and focus around those products. But our catalogues and we acquire companies through acquisition, as lots of manufacturers do. Our catalogue is like this, this sort of big with over.
There's environmental products, there's power products, we've got there's a lot of range.
I think even I didn't really. And I've been working with you guys for a while now. I don't think people really understand
the scale,
who CA really are. So when because it's a French company, isn't it?
The headquarters is in France, and they've been going over 130 plus years now.
Yes.
And they actually invented the current clamp. Chauvin Arnoux.
That's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy. So we were founded in 1896. 1893. Sorry, and the UK subsidiary has been running since 1986. So
see, I guarantee you, right? Sorry to butt in. I'm guarantee that most electricians wouldn't know that CA had been in the UK for 30 years.
Yeah,
that's mad. So what's your? Like obviously, you guys are tasked with, and I can speak from personal experience. When you're trying to take something new into the market, even if it's not new because you've been here 30 years, but kind of almost like unknown is probably a better word rather than new, right? And you're trying to really drive against some real monsters that have been here a long time. That are your market. I don't want to say bread and butter brands, but like. You're recognised, your household, but however you want to categorise it, right? Like that's not easy ever. What are your biggest challenges you think to getting mentioned in those same things or getting your awareness out there as a company with such specialist equipment?
So it's like anything, it's customer-centric solutions. Ultimately, a customer has a need, whether it be a maximum demand requirement. For say, for instance, single phase, it'd be our PEL 51. It could be, do we want to actually size PV up, solar side? Do we want to see how much solar we require and what consumption is a building using?
Have you seen a spike then in your stuff since the big boom of solar and that? Because there's not many people that do. How many people in the UK do the range that you guys do for that sort of stuff?
There's not, our range, because we do relays as well for network rail companies, and we do a very vast variety of instruments. But when it comes to the actual logging side, no, it's the capabilities and the price point that they're above the rest for that. That's ultimately it. If we can get it cheaper and it does the same operational thing or improvements in it, and these fall under categories, doesn't it, for people?
Yeah.
Is it cheaper?
100%. First thing you get asked, how much it costs?
Capability.
Does it? What's the
Capabilities.
capabilities?
Yeah.
So you've got to be more technologically advanced,
And cheaper. Yeah.
and ultimately, there's a products like we've got show on today, ultimately that can achieve that for the end users. So, yeah, great product range.
So solar's seen a big change.
Seen a lot of issues, and it's a common topic, over voltage issues. So the ESQCR, I don't want to bore people, but it's a document that stipulates that the voltage has to be 230 volts, plus or minus, plus 10%, minus 6%. So you've got 253 volts on your phase to neutral as your incoming supply at the top end and 216 at the bottom. You can capture that stuff and get an email sent out to you to notify a site's gone down, because PV inverters, some of them switch off, chargers as well. And to get that notification can obviously be utilised by businesses to be able to go and either
Insurances as well, I suppose. As well.
It's DNOs. So to speak to the DNO, you need some evidence there to present to the DNO to be able to then tap down on the transformer. They have tap points on the transformer, and they can change that voltage down ultimately.
Right. Tripling harmonics. That's another kind of. But we had a customer. Last week he's done a log, and when you get your phase current above each phase, your neutral current above each phase current, then you're kind of on.
We're seeing it more and more.
Yeah,
we're seeing
it's that tripling harmonic. It's tripling.
We're seeing neutral currents bigger than phase current.
Really?
Neutral currents are bigger than phase current, and it's getting more and more increasing.
On what sort? On solar installs?
I'll draw you a picture, Arthur. Not on solar predominantly, but it's if you've got a non-linear load, so across a current waveform, if you've got something that's pulsing and drawing current in short abrupt pulses, LED lighting, variable speed drive,
anything with DC,
anything chopping up that sine wave from AC to DC, what it does is it creates harmonic, and it's called harmonic multiplication effect. So tripling harmonics. If you have current at 150 hertz. On the third harmonic, so the first harmonic's at 50 hertz, the third harmonic's at 150. If you have currents at 150 hertz, you have any unbalanced loads on the single phase side will come back down your neutral, and then you get multiplication. If each phase is drawing 10 amps, let's say you've got 10 amps on L1, you've got 20 on L2 and 20 on L3 at 50 hertz, then you'll have 10 amps coming down the neutral. But if we then have 5 amps on each phase at 150 hertz, they all get added up because they're in phase with each other. So we'll have an extra 15 plus the 10 coming down the neutral. So then you get hot neutral conductors. And we're seeing it. I mean, this is bi-weekly at the moment. We're seeing higher neutral currents than phase currents.
What do you think that's down to?
It's harmonics. It's
Yeah,
tripling
harmonics. Yeah.
It's because we've all gone from resistive loads. We've all gone from basically not variable speed drives. We've all gone from sine waves to where ultimately it's not pulsing. Chopping rectification circuits chop the sine wave, and ultimately those rectification circuits are creating these harmonics, and we're all changing anything that you've got in this room now will be changing AC to DC.
100%, yeah. And that's going to increase. It's not going to decrease, is it?
So it's becoming more and more of a problem, really.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it more and more on sites.
There are certain regulations, that the neutral conductor has to be bigger than the phase conductors on harmonic-rich environments. It's when you're sizing up a neutral, ultimately it's really because if you lose a neutral upstream of the neutral bar, you'll get phase-to-phase voltages, so everything on that site will be damaged.
Burn out.
So you get 400 volts because the only path due to Kirchhoff's law, current has to flow, and it will flow through the neutral bar back down the other phase.
Yeah, because it's got to go somewhere,
It's got to go somewhere. It's got to go somewhere. So it's a big issue. We're seeing lost neutrals quite frequently and hot neutrals, and obviously it presents as a fire risk. And these
are there more types of? Is that obviously more in your sort of three-phase situations?
Three-phase,
single phase. Yeah.
So single phase, we can see it.
You've got less interacting with the circuit. You've got lower loads. So it's not going to be to the same sort of levels.
Too much about the single. It's more the three phase. Massive sites. If you're going to lose a neutral upstream of the neutral bar on a site where you've got I don't know, say 100 grand worth of equipment,
Yeah.
it's worth logging. And ultimately, we're seeing people complain because they don't understand, understandably, because there's not enough out there for them to understand why the neutral conductor. I've had a customer the other week. The neutral conductor's getting hot. Why is that? And it's also reading double the phase current. 400 amps on the neutral, 200 amps on each phase, and they're complaining it's getting hot. I'm like, well, this
it's going to, isn't it? It's,
Well, you've
Of course.
you put more current through something, it's going to get a lot warmer.
in the middle of writing a case study on it, aren't
Yeah,
you?
so we've got a
you're just writing
technical article on it coming out soon. So yeah, I've
be able
just
to give it a read.
Well,
it's
yeah,
called,
share that with us, and we'll put it out. We'll put it
Definitely.
out to everyone everyone who's all 14,000 of you on the mailing list will get a copy of that.
It's
That'd be
called
good.
the neutral current crisis. Why is the neutral current the hottest conductor or something like that? So
Well,
give it.
it's always been the neutral, even on single phase. Neutral's always been the issue, whether it be a loose conductor. It always tends to be when you're going to get two types of major fire in a single phase appliance, and it's always been the same for three phase really. One's going to be a loose connection,
Yeah.
or one's going to be on the neutral. It's always the same,
Exactly.
right? But okay, that's all bad workmanship aside, guys. I know you've seen some horror stories out there, but do you know what I mean? And let's not talk about Grenfell. We can move on from that and AFDDs. But where do you think it's going? Okay, because we didn't talk about this off camera. You should warn me about this one. This is good. I like this. Well, where do you see that problem, without taking too much steam out of your case study?
Yeah.
Where do you see that problem coming to a head, really? Because obviously legislation, as we know in our industry, only goes so far and tends to only change when something happens. And that something is usually got to be pretty big. Go back, Grenfell, for example.
Yeah.
Grenfell had to happen, and then all of a sudden they come up with this masterful idea of AFDDs, which you can argue or dislike. People know my point of view. I think that's a round peg in a square hole personally. However, whatever. We saw Amendment 3 come in to push through bi-directional RCBOs and PV systems.
That Awaab's law.
Yeah, exactly. Seen
same
that. So you've seen. We can touch on that as well. So you can see these changes after something happens, right? Or if someone has a big interest in that sort of space. But without getting too political, but where do you see this problem then, escalating to?
So ultimately, fires.
But if you're talking industrial environments, you're going to see some big ass fires.
Well, as horrible as it is, I think the cause of a hot neutral conductor and losing a neutral, it's better to lose the neutral and not create a massive fire, in my opinion, than damage stuff in the equipment. But there's still potential that equipment could catch fire. Who knows? But if a neutral's getting hot and there's some flammable material or something nearby and that catches fire, it presents as a hazard.
But you've also got the issue there where if you've
I see the regulations changing.
Do you think they will?
Scott, from what I'm seeing, the complaints of bi-weekly of people complaining. The solution's either, do a log and see what harmonic order the current's on and use a passive or active harmonic filter to filter that current. So you need to capture the data and then you can choose what sort of to filter
do most environments like this then, do they have the capacity to capture the data? Because you need to know you've got a problem before you can fix it, right?
Yeah. So that's where
it's too late. Yeah.
This is that's where these come in just to do the log, and then you can know where
So
you're at.
So do you think there'll be a point where legislation changes that they'll have to provide logs with loads over a certain current?
It might be a higher neutral conductor. It might be more neutral conductor in harmonic-rich environments has to be bigger than the phase conductor.
So do you think they'll change the sort of the scope of that, what that environment would include?
It stipulates, reading something the other day, I can't remember it word for word because I was reading it during the technical article I was writing, and it stipulates that you're allowed in harmonic rich environments that it does compensate for, you have to compensate for the harmonics ultimately.
Right. But what would be considered a high harmonic environment?
Switch mode power supplies, anything with variable speed drives, especially variable speed drives, because anything. If you've got a site with variable
something,
anything. If you've got a site with variable speed drives, I'd recommend measuring harmonics at the moment. But just because I'm seeing every site with if they've got no passive or active harmonic filters, they're high. The neutral currents are high. So either double check your neutral calculations, make sure you have a unit that can measure into those high frequency bandwidths. Because if you've only got a current clamp that is 400 hertz, for instance, measurement, you're going to miss the stuff that's at the higher frequency bandwidth. So that's ultimately the solutions around it would be either make the neutral conductor bigger, either fit those filters. So I hope it doesn't happen and people lose neutrals, obviously, and I hope there's no fires. But ultimately, we're seeing complaints come in about high neutral conductors.
Well, you can't have it both ways, right? So the world is moving to electrification, which is great for us all, right?
Of course.
In this industry, we're not complaining about that. More work, great. But with that and changing technology, changing on how we do that, evolution of things, you're going to 5 years ago, right? Put it in perspective. We launched a campaign 6 years ago now. Say no to AC.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason we did that is because no one was really pushing the fact that AC, RCBO, or RCD devices were being blinded by pulsating DC current.
Yeah.
To the point where lead manufacturers didn't have a clue, right? And it'd never been a thing because we didn't test for it essentially. And then we got into circuit protection and started looking at it. And me and a guy called Joe Haley were sat down going through it. We're like, mate, we've done all the research on it. This is a problem. And then there was rumours of people looking at Type A devices and this, that, and the other. We launched a big campaign for it, which we launched a range of circuit protection off the back of. And all of a sudden, then Type A becomes mandatory because, hang on, these AC devices. And then you don't realise how quickly it goes from it might be an issue to it's definitely a problem when you start thinking about all your TVs no LED. Your games console, anything that runs off a battery. Like I say, and what we're trying to do is reduce our energy consumption, which means, like you said before, you're going from AC to DC anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're using less electricity. So all your white goods, your fridges, your washing machines.
Everything.
Everything's
More
running
or less everything.
You know, it's back to that thing. Stuff changes when bad stuff happens, ultimately, and not in all instances. They can.
What about with EV charging?
In what sense?
So is that,
So
you seeing any...
there is problems. So say if an EV charger sees 253 volts, some of them just instantly shut off, and people are waking up with
dead cars.
Yeah.
Which would all be absolutely fuming. Trying to get to. Sorry, I can't come in today.
Everyone's already worried about will I get there?
Yeah.
Now I can't even leave.
With the traffic on the road currently, imagine that one.
I know people that got Teslas that, like, when it's cold, they are too scared to put the heat on.
Range anxiety is currently
a thing, isn't it? People aren't suffering enough with their mental health. Now they've got to worry about their car getting in. Dude, it's not. Honestly, Jay keeps telling me, right? Jay keeps telling me you should get an electric car. I live 6 miles from here, and we have 3 EV chargers on the building, and I still won't do it. No, I've got a 4-litre petrol.
Okay, of course.
I'm in a different space in my car. But yeah, he's got a hybrid. He loves it. He plugs in at home. He gets his 80, 90 miles or whatever it is, and this, that, and the other works really well for him. But there's been times where I've used that car. I've plugged it in here, thought it was working, and come out and it's got nothing. And I've had to pay for put petrol in that particular car. I was fuming because I was like, the only reason I wanted to drive it was to get back home for free. So it's a real life problem, isn't it?
Of course it is. If you've got everyone by 2030, supposedly.
Do you think that'll happen though?
No, I don't. I think it'll push down the road.
I think 2050 more like.
The infrastructure's not there. The DNOs are quite heavily capacity-wise. I know they're putting a lot of infrastructure in, but they're capacity-wise of what costs a lot to put a new substation in. Costs a lot to put these transformers, and also ultimately the transformers in some instances are being overloaded. And
realistically, you're going to start needing more 3-phase supplies into domestic dwellings, aren't you?
Of course.
Make it work properly.
I think it's that famous thing about the Arab's Law thing. You've got Arab Ishak, I think his name was, who was 3. And he passed away due to the mould, and it's that thing which is why it's been implemented on the 27th of October 2025 is because someone's sadly passed away. So all social housing has to now measure in litres per second.
Litres per second.
Because of an incident.
And you do, and this is the shame, isn't it? I mean, it's because of the money involved. Let's be honest, right? You don't see change ahead of the problem, especially in our country, right? It's after the problem. It's after the effect. And I mean, you guys obviously do, which obviously you do, and you do something to help measure. And again, you seem to do a measuring tool for pretty much any problem that may exist, as well as the ones that you've already got legislation against.
Yeah.
Which one though, right? Which is your your lead product? You're like, you know what? Every everyday electrician should look at this product. So not just your specialist guys, and this, that, and the other. Because a lot of our guys are obviously
get the MA400.
This is one I had earlier.
Blue Peter moment.
Blue Peter all over.
I was trying to rage out. I don't think Blue Peter's a thing anymore.
Is it not?
I don't know. I haven't seen it for a while.
So MA400D. This is probably, reason being is we're talking about those bandwidths, we're talking about those currents that are not those 50 hertz, and ultimately this one can measure up to 0.5 kilohertz. This one has 3 ranges, so it has a 4 amp range, which is 4 decimal places. It has 40 amp range, which is 2 decimal places, and it also has a 400 amp range. So where I was talking about people with current clamps, normally if you actually look at in the manual, they may well say
data sheets.
Data sheets sometimes, not always. They may in the manual they'll say
I can promise you now,
400
most
hertz.
people don't read a data sheet. Honestly, I've read some of our competition's data sheet. I don't think they've read them. Like, honestly, I'm just like, come on. Yeah.
Well, it's that thing. So flexible CT comes with it. This one's longer. Where is it, Zach? Get the bigger. This one's.
Get the big one out.
This is that's the 4000D, so that goes up to 4000 amps.
Yeah,
that
so-
one's the 400, so that will go up to 400.
You turn them on, you press hold, and it will hold the maximum current, and it won't miss any of those frequencies against certain other clamps. They're very affordable. You can find them by Googling on, putting them in Google as you can.
Everyone does, or ChatGPT.
And you can just
now.
weave it in and out of circuits as well, with the Regalsi coil. Just makes it really... So I think every electrician should have one of these.
Do you, I mean, I know you got lots of distributors. Do you know roughly what they're selling them for? Give or take? On the higher end?
Anywhere. So we can't. Yeah, we don't know what the dish. I tell you what. Let's Google.
Let's have a Google.
Let's have a Google. On it. It's a bit unprofessional.
I was
but let's
going to
have-
Google it.
I know a rough price, but ultimately, obviously, all distributors.
Guys, this is a fantastic example of what manufacturers have to dance with. So while he's Googling that,
would you mind explaining?
explain. So as manufacturers, you guys are probably all aware, right? When we take a product to market, as much work as we do, as we brand it and everything else, the distributor sets the price. So if either of these guys now tell you what the price is, and one of their distributors is selling it for more, they're going to get a phone call before they leave this building and probably have a row. Now, I'm speaking hypothetically. Their customers might be like that. I can tell you for a fact some of ours are. So, yeah, it's one of those things where a lot of brands struggle because they don't know what they can tell you they can buy it for. But on Google, it says...
So anywhere between 219 to 183.
That is a
400.
decent range.
The 400 would
So
be anywhere.
is that the
That's
4000?
the 4,000, and then the MA. Sorry, bear with us a moment. Keep going.
Keep going. I've got nothing left to fill, guys. I've pretty much summarised this, and Elliot's fingers are moving really, really quickly.
So yeah, a little bit cheaper.
A little bit cheaper. There we go.
But like you say, we're really grateful. We're really grateful for our distributors. They do a really good job in what they do, and ultimately, we don't want to specify prices.
No. It's just to give people a sort of a guideline.
Yeah,
If it's
I
on
appreciate
Google,
you giving an overview
yeah,
as well. It's
you know what I mean.
helps the
If
listener.
it's on Google, you can't be crucified for it. Can it be honest? It's on
Yeah,
Google.
yeah, of
But
course.
yeah, I mean, guys, check it out. Have a look at it. See if it would fit into your toolkit. And read the data sheet. So, moving on then, right? Let's talk about CA UK and what's I won't say what's the obstacle. What's the challenge then you guys have got for the next sort of 2-3 years, right? What are you trying to achieve as a company in the UK over the next 2 to 3 years?
Go on, Zach. Do you want me to take this one?
We just want to be really big on customer support and just kind of helping our customers as much as we can, more than other companies as well.
Business growth.
Business growth is the main thing. That's the obvious, but
Yeah, but
obviously
it's-
we're just going to try. We're just trying.
We have to go above and beyond. I think
Above and
it's
beyond,
what-
that's the
and
thing.
Ultimately, we're not the biggest player out there as far as test equipment, but it's exactly what Zach's saying. We do try and bat above our weight in the sense of technical support. We really do.
I think your awareness has definitely grown. Like a lot of people know who you are now. Like I mean, 5 years ago, I'd never heard of CA. Right?
Yeah.
But over the last 3 years, especially, I mean, you do all the trade shows. Are you doing all the Elexes again this year?
We've got Harrogate and
what's
can you remember
Our
the-
marketing and communications manager would
Yeah.
know this, like off the top of our head. So apologies for.
We're
not
definitely
specifying.
we're definitely going
She's
to
gonna give you a
Harrogate.
grilling when you get back.
Yes, we're doing a couple. We're doing a couple this
doing a
year.
couple.
Yeah, we're doing.
Yeah.
doing
So
a
which
few.
ones did you do last year? Do you remember? Did Coventry last year, didn't you?
Coventry,
Harrogate.
Harrogate.
Yeah.
London.
Was it Ali Pali or Sandown?
Paddy.
Yeah, we did
Ali
Ali
Pali
Pali.
was my favourite last year.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest.
We did.
They all rolled
we
into
did
one,
four, didn't we?
I think we done 4 last year. Yeah. What's the other one? What are we missing from this? Come on.
Well,
This
there's
is,
they did Bolton. They did Bolton, Harrogate, Exeter, Coventry,
you are.
Sandown, Ali Pali.
Yeah, Sandown and Ali Pally, yeah.
I've done them all too many times.
Yeah,
It's weird.
you can tell you've absolutely
I
been.
think I actually said them in calendar order as well.
Did you? That's impressive. That is.
Well, no, Bolton comes up in March, and then
They just etched into your memory. And
it's because I keep seeing them on my bloody invoices.
Oh,
So I have to pay the
okay.
invoices. That's what it is.
You know what month it is exactly.
Yeah,
It's
exactly
impressive.
that. So because I mean, we used to do them. What was again? We we've done it. You've done the ESK Curry nights. We've done all
Yeah,
that.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
But like. We've done all those trade shows again, the same way you guys done it, because you need people. They see it online. They still need to touch it and feel it. They still need to meet you guys and everything else. I do think the trade shows are good for that. But
Yeah.
we this is the first time we're not scheduled to do any. We're still humming around about maybe doing one or two, but we're not scheduled to do any this year. Usually we're booked in advance and we plan things for it, this, that, and the other. So for the last 18 months, 19 months, whatever, the last 9 shows, we did every single one. We're now putting that money into other things, more the digital marketing side. People know us now; they've seen it. We might go back to it next year. But how do you guys find the shows for yourselves? Because again, like we're touching on then with the situation with Google, all jokes aside, most manufacturers don't have the capacity to go direct to customer.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to gauge.
Yeah, so it is more for the awareness side and just.
But how do you guys gauge? I mean, obviously, I
So
suppose
we
if
can't.
you're
I'll be
growing-
honest. Quantification for if it's economically viable is a hard thing.
It's really hard, isn't it?
Yeah, because we
Yeah,
can't,
you can't-
sell directly to as Zach said, to end users, and we really value our distribution network for the work they do on actually supplying and support they do. We obviously use that as but we got we do get some leads from it, and we follow up with stuff. But ultimately, when it comes down to being able to
Track
sell,
it.
track it. It's a hard one.
It's
to
hard
quantify.
when you're trying to grow a brand and bring a brand in the
Yeah.
market, and because you have to get the distributor for it to really work in our industry with electricians of every scale and engineers at every point. Is they all buy it 99% of the time. They will all buy it through a distribution partner, whether
Of
that's an
course.
electrical wholesaler or an online retailer, whatever it might be, right?
Yeah.
Or a specialist. So you have to get their support to get it on the shelf, which is involves commercials, trading terms, yada, yada, yada. Then you still have to go out there, create the awareness, bring them the business, do all of that. And the only way you can do it is call everyone you've ever heard of, email everyone you can ever find an email address for, attend all of these shows. And then you still, like you say, you still can't actually quantify which one of those things has led you to, if we've seen business growth, great. But out of all this stuff we threw money at, which of it worked?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And
Is there any that you know that you know are working for you?
So our marketing and communication manager will analyse all this stuff.
Yeah, she's
We
proper
are. Yeah, she'll analyse and see what's economical for the business. What's she'll have a look at that and.
I hear the Talk Up podcast is working really well for you.
yeah. Well, yeah.
I have no idea if it is or not. She hasn't told me. She hasn't
so
cancelled your sponsorship yet, so I suppose it's not doing too
No,
bad.
yeah, we've enjoyed sponsoring the podcast, and it's great to work with you ultimately. But yeah,
But all jokes aside, I mean, we do this podcast anyway. Like we love doing it,
yeah,
and
of course.
you know,
We appreciate you having us on as well.
I
Yeah.
appreciate
It's
it.
been-
But it's we don't do it for the sponsorship as such
No.
because we don't. We make money from selling fuse boards, which is why for us the podcast can be as transparent as it really is because it does. This isn't how we earn, how I pay my mortgage. You know what I mean? So, but it's also what we found is. And I've seen you guys do it. You are creating your own content. You are putting your own videos out. You are obviously doing your own case studies and what. But do you see that as a more viable kind of credibility marketing structure going forward?
So it was something that we were wanting to definitely get, grow that side of things when we first got there because they were pretty outdated. Some of the videos were outdated. What were already up on YouTube. So we thought we'll just attack the YouTube and the videoing and getting our stuff out, which I think it has worked. But it's just that, like you say, it's just hard to gauge.
It's hard to actually do it consistently as well.
Yeah.
I think you need to attack every area.
I agree.
Ultimately, irrespective of what you've got.
But
to
you have
try
to pick your
things.
battles, don't you?
Yeah.
That's the thing. So you've got 24 hours in a day. You'd like to go home at some point. I mean, we had a joke earlier, didn't we? Like, well, do you ever
Both
not
working
work?
with
Yeah.
you.
Well, no,
No, yeah.
but that's kind of what it takes, which is crazy when you think about it. But you also have resource. Time is your biggest resource. It's non-refundable, right? You can't. Once you spend an hour doing something, you can't get that hour back to do something else, right? It's gone.
Yeah.
So time is huge. But then, as a business structure, and you guys are targeted to get sales and this, that, and the other. So anything you spend to get that sale, that cost of acquisition, that cost of sale, is you have to recoup it somewhere along the line, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
So do you think with you guys, because this is just me personally. I've seen your growth. Your branding's actually quite good. Your colours work really well. You know, the name is hard to say because it's a French name for the UK, which I think the abbreviation CAUK has really helped you as well.
Yeah.
But like the videos you do are good quality videos. The stuff you're putting out is good quality. You can see it's not just slapped down together on an iPhone. Like, again, there's some massive companies in especially in our sector, right? And I see the videos they put up, and I'm just thinking, Christ, you couldn't invest £20 in an Amazon microphone. Do you know what I mean? You say outdated, like our industry as a whole.
I think so.
It's
I think
really
it's,
archaic.
You know, there are companies out there, and obviously we won't name them, but ultimately they don't need to.
If you want me to, just slide under the table.
They don't need to put. They don't need to bat above their weight. You know, if you're growing year on year and you don't have to spend X amount.
Your
on
name's
show,
already out there.
of course, you don't have. You don't have to. You know, we have to do case studies and videos and you know, loads of areas of different stuff that we're doing to try and make that business growth and achieve that business growth. Ultimately,
Just attack it from all angles.
Same as you though. Some of the stuff we've had a walk around today. Tony showed us round, and it's been beautiful. It's been lovely to see the site and what you guys are doing behind the scenes is very impressive. And it's
growing. But that's I tell you. But
it's hard work.
Yeah,
we're willing to put the hard work in, and we're the same as yourself. And
I think if you shred every business back, right? Every business, take the branding away, take the product away. Even the business is propped up by the people behind it, right?
Of course.
And you know, you have certain brands or companies will have certain faces. Like ours, it tends to be obviously myself and Jay. But like you mentioned Tony, you got Serena, you got Mel, you got Brian, you got Mark, you got Jay. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of Bill. And you got the agents, Anne, Ian, and it's there's a team, and that's without the engineers, that's without the guys at the factory, and it takes all of those people to be bought in. And you have to kind of have a bit of a mission statement of like, and you hold each other accountable as well. We're really good at that here, but that becomes harder as you get bigger. That becomes harder as the industry shrinks, which it's doing. And let's be honest, it's been a tough couple of years for most people. Yeah, and then you know, without getting too political, the industry is also governed in a very weird way. I don't know if you find it on your side of things, but like BS 7671 is obviously the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Other religious books are available. But do you know what I mean? It's like that's supposed to be the Holy Grail. Yeah. Yet it's not, because you can deviate from it. It's actually it's recommendation, but it's also what you're held to. It's, you know.
Would you say it's up to interpretation? Some of the stuff?
It's so grey. It's not even.
But I think.
I mean, you have different
wavering
assessors.
liability is.
Well, that's what I was going to get down to.
Commonly across the board, isn't it?
When shit hits shovel, what it actually comes down to is, I don't want to take the blame for this. Yeah. How can I make sure I don't take the blame for this? Do you think, and again, this isn't a plug at your product, but from a testing perspective, right, there are, even if it doesn't sit into BS 7671 or manufacturer's instructions kind of make them deviate from it or whatever it might be, having the ability to log and show that I've done everything in my physical power to make sure this is safe, surely that's got, when something like BS 7671 is so grey and down to interpretation, surely that's got to help, right?
Of course it does. Yeah. Any evidence there ultimately you can, you know, prove your side that you're doing stuff correctly, whether it be load, you know, balance and loads, whether it be that harmonic stuff that we were talking about earlier, not only that, you know, voltage side, if you're generating and you're pushing an over voltage issue or something like that.
Because I was
they
thinking
use these to actually prove to DNOs what's going on a three-phase system or what.
100%, because like that's not covered in BS 7671 like that. Like those, I mean, it is within a smaller sphere, right? But if you've got that happening bi-weekly, then surely that needs to be. If it's not, I mean, and
so they're looking at. I won't say who I've been speaking to, but I was speaking to a company recently that are looking at. That they do stuff like this, and they're looking at the harmonic side because they're going around seeing harmonic issues. So it's something that is being looked at. I don't know if it will change. I have no awareness of if it's going to be implemented. I just know it's being reviewed because neutrals are getting hot.
That's a big. Say we didn't talk about this before. Like, that's a big problem. So the interesting thing there is because when people think BS 7671 or whatever, they always think if I've got to be standing up in court, how can I defend myself? Which is fine. I mean, that's one hell of an extreme. 99.9% of the time, it never comes to that. It's more about who's going to pay for this. It's not who's going to prison for this. That very rarely happens, right? It's who's going to pay for this. If a neutral runs hot, burns down a factory with hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of gear in it, right? If that was my factory, I'm looking for, well, who was the electrician, right? What did he do? Something's gone wrong. You've done something wrong because
Of course.
Find where it's gone wrong.
100%, because at the end of the day, like, and then the electrician's got to prove at that point, well,
No,
I'm
it's
not
too late
financially...
by that point.
Yeah.
100% it
If you
is.
don't log it prior, you've got no evidence, and the thing
Which
is,
means the electrician's going to be liable
Yeah.
for and obviously most electricians are going to have insurances and things, especially if
Of
they're working
course.
on those sorts of things. But that's what makes your insurance premiums high. That's what if you can prove all of these things, you are alleviating risk, aren't you? That's
Yeah,
what it's about.
definitely.
Without trying to say to everyone here, here's a way of getting slopey shoulders out. It's
Yeah.
not. You have to protect yourself.
You have to in any industry ultimately, to protect your business, and as we all know, it's costly. Business can be costly, and any liabilities that cause cost for a business can be extreme. So, not only that, they can offer a return on it. So if you're buying a PEL 113, for instance, for seeing the neutral currents if they are hot, if it's a chargeable service. You can pass
that's a
that
good
on
point.
to the customer and say, look, I'm putting loads of LED lights in. I'm using loads of variable speed drives and stuff that is chopping up sine waves. We have to capture this, and you get your return on your investment, because that's within business, that's what we all want, isn't it?
So passive income. So you could be standard electrician, go out and do your jobs, have that logging away on a separate site for a week, and then you're charging for that service. So it's another stream of income really.
Well, there you go, guys. The easiest side hustle ever.
20 loggers, just go and chuck them all around.
Yeah, before you leave, I'll get you. But it's a good point, isn't it? And the thing is like that sort of stuff, if it's becoming more of an issue, is going to become more of an opportunity. Let's
course.
keep a spade a spade. Like that's going to become more of an opportunity for electricians to earn more money. And when we're all looking to separate ourselves from the daily grind of earning more money, that's a fantastic service to look at, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Expenses are going up, so
Yeah,
let's
it's
all
hard-
put
mate,
lock in.
don't. Yeah, let's not go there, Jesus. And April's going to hit everyone hard as well. I think and it's
Everything's
gonna hit
just
businesses hard.
skyrocketing. Everything.
It is
Everything.
absolutely nuts. I
You
don't
know,
know.
It's, I won't go too much. It's expensive. The world is getting expensive.
Well, England.
The
Getting
UK,
expensive.
UK is certainly.
you get
When you look at those inflation numbers, it's important to talk about it as well, because it affects every electrician, right? I seen something up the other day, and it was like, why do I feel so much poorer now? Right? And they're saying, inflation's 3%. But if you look at the cost of living from COVID, which obviously was 2020, right, to now, it's actually gone up 20%. Right?
I was looking at like the average house price, and it was like in 1999, it was like 70 grand. And it's like, I can't remember
quarter
what it is.
million now, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
Yeah.
up to quarter of a
Yeah,
mil.
yeah.
And
250
the wages hasn't reflected.
Well, no,
it's,
not even close.
House prices have gone like that. The wages have stayed flat.
Yeah, well, the wages the wages tend to go up with the rate of inflation on
course.
average, right?
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
are going up 3%,
Yeah.
2%. But like you say, that when houses are going up 60, 70%,
Of course.
the 3% don't touch the size, does
It's
it?
not just that, fuel, food, everything. Energy as well. They've stopped certain North Sea drilling and stuff for obvious reasons. We're in the UK, we're a bit mindful around that stuff, and ultimately it's got a cost to people, hasn't it?
And the thing is, what I think everyone's forgotten about the UK is it's an island. Like, you either make it or you import it. There you are, two options. Like that is literally it. And because we're an island, it's not like if you're in France or you're in Germany or Belgium, like they're all clicked together. So you put it on a lorry and you drive it through, and it's a lot bloody easier. Here it is definitely harder. Your cost of it, I can tell you now, from bringing containers in, it's unbelievable. You need to take the exchange rate needs to flex slightly, and everything gone up 6-7%.
Of course. Oh yeah, because you'll be buying in a different currency.
100%. We buy in dollars. So, and then you've got the other structure of what people have completely missed is silver's gone through the roof.
Yes.
Gold's
No,
gone
it's-
through the roof.
Silver. They're going to put it. They're putting it in batteries for cars now, and I'm just seeing silver's been massive.
But it's one of these things that, again, the average person doesn't understand why everything costs more, and it's all these demands and changes and everything else to what we're doing and how we're doing it are all going to increase cost everywhere. Have you guys seen it from your production costs?
Yeah, of course. It's across the board, irrespective. It doesn't discriminate in any area, does it?
not at all.
I can't see anything in my personal life that I can look at and say it's got a lot cheaper, and I can't see anything in my working life where, you know, the food, you know, the hotels, it's all a cost of the business, and I just see stuff getting more expensive. You know, people need to cover their costs. All businesses need to cover their costs. If not, you haven't got a business after a period of time.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's getting...
Here's a question for you guys then, because it's been a hot topic on our podcast for a little while, and a lot of questions we get asked about it. How do you see AI integrating into this space?
So are we allowed to talk about the stuff coming out with AI in the sense of what's on? Sorry, I'm tapping on the table. In the sense
It's
of
like a drum
I'm
roll.
like a little,
Oh, he's going to launch it now.
So I'm gonna. Can we talk about the stuff coming out? I don't know. So we're not going to for this. It's just to be
Makes
safe.
sense not
so
to,
we've
but
got certain
as an
stuff.
overall opinion,
Integration.
what do you think
stuff.
might happen?
I think AI will be integrated within certain pieces of equipment.
I think everyone is going to agree that.
Of course.
It's going down that line anyway.
Anything to do with data and surely AI is going to get involved, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And how do you see that impacting the industry genuinely? Like, because a lot of people are scared of AI, and that's what, again, a lot of, especially younger electricians that we've had like message us on direct messages on the Instagram and stuff like that, is like they're worried that they're almost kind of going
to taking the jobs. That was there is that side of things, but when it comes to implementing it into a product, surely it's going to help.
It'll be beneficial.
Surely it's going to be beneficial.
I got asked a great question the other day. How do you see it impacting circuit protection? I haven't got a clue. Generally, because it's a mechanical process, right?
I think it's mechanical though, isn't it? I don't think, as far as I don't know if there'll be any impact.
Because I had
depends what it definitely depends what it is.
Because it's digital. I don't understand. It's not going to offer.
No.
It can't offer you.
It can't change what's already there. Ultimately, it's a mechanical process.
And when we had Charles from TradeCert on, right, which is an AI software one, and he was saying that the rate in which software is developing is so far in advance of hardware that it can't. This will never catch up to where this could go. And obviously the cost of developing hardware, as you guys are very well aware, right, is 10, 20x of what it is software. So there's already a substantial gap between what AI can do and what it can physically do because it doesn't have the hardware to support it. Do you think that would be the case with sort of testing equipment and stuff, or do you think the hardware, and because again, I don't really
I think
AI
will be integrated with softwares.
Yeah, with
I don't
software,
think it will be
definitely.
integrated hardware, because hardware ultimately, not with test equipment personally, over the
Again,
next...
because I suppose it's reactive, isn't
Yeah,
it?
you're logging,
I wouldn't even know how
data,
it'd...
but
Sure.
the AI, in my opinion, would be to
Analyse it. Yeah.
I think it will be the back end side of stuff rather than actual hardware side.
So do you think then electricians and the electrical industry are going to have to look at AI in a very different way? Because again, we've always talked about it, is like adopt it, figure out what you like about it, figure out what works for you, dump the rest, but don't ignore it. It's too big to ignore.
It's a tool, isn't it? Ultimately, any tool that can benefit you in your life. With AI, and it's obviously increasing. I mean,
you can use it for other things than making dance videos, believe it or not. And
can you?
You can.
You have to show me that after the podcast. Get him dancing.
I haven't done it yet. I've got some great dance videos.
Well, I'll get him dancing in a bit. Don't worry. We'll put that in the mid-show time.
But it's just like, but you know, I mean, what cracks me up, right? Completely off topic, slightly political, right? Everyone lost their minds about digital IDs, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
Like, absolutely lost their mind.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are on LinkedIn, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone I know on LinkedIn, Facebook, has dumped their AI caricature on it. Like, dude, do you know how much of your personal information you've just dumped into the world, but you're worried about a digital ID? It honestly, sometimes I think, like, really don't pick the right fights. Like, it is mental, but the world is definitely going to go.
What about you? What do you think of it? What do you think of AI? I'm interested in your perspective on this. As far as is it beneficial? Obviously, there's going to be some job losses. That we can't all ignore that.
Well, they've already started happening.
Of course it is.
But I also think you can hide bad news in bad news. Right. So, like, let's be honest. We touched on it already. Right. Cost of everything through the roof.
Yeah.
So.
Surely it should reduce costs, no?
Exactly, but then I can turn around and say, well, AI does your job now. When AI doesn't do anyone's job, someone still has to pump it full of something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's, it can manage certain things. You still need a human being. AI makes a lot of mistakes. So you still need a human being to vet
You can't
it.
use it actively.
No, and you still have to know your stuff to make sure what comes out the other end is not only useful, but you need to put the right prompts in to get the right information out, to do something with it, and then someone has to action that in some way, shape or form. So, but I do think businesses can hide bad news and bad news. Oh, we're letting you go because we're doing AI is now doing your job. Actually, we're letting you go because we can't afford you anymore. And if there's a chance of saving 20%, we're going to, because our costs have gone up 30%.
Yeah,
I've got an interesting. Sorry to jump in. I got a really interesting ad the other day. I was doing the whole scrolling thing. And
As you do, the doom scroll.
Yeah, the doom scroll.
we all
Why
love a
am I
doom
wasting
scroll.
my time?
I've got so much to do. But look, another video.
So I was up doing a little scroll, as we all do occasionally, badly, as bad as it is, and I just saw this thing. It was like a AI, it was a sponsored sort of, they were marketing. They were marketing this, it was like a person. It was like, we will take over your, don't mind your business. And it was really interesting in the sense of,
You go
I want to look
swimming
into
or
it.
fishing while we'll do all your marketing.
We'll do all this. We'll do everything for you. And it was AI stuff that was, it was interesting. But I didn't look into it. I don't think it'll be adopted in.
It'll be good to see. Well, good, bad, but let's see where it is in another 10 years, in another decade.
It's weird, isn't it? Because we're the most digital and disconnected as a species that we've ever been. Like people aren't
100%.
People aren't designed to be on their own behind a screen and live this kind of imaginary highlight reel. They're not, right? And this is why I think mental health is at its all-time high and all sorts of. There's loads of. Whilst there's been lots of benefits to social media and digitization of things, there's also been a huge negative impact as well.
It's massive. It's absolutely massive.
So, but then again, I look at it from the electrician. So most average electricians spend all day on their own. Instagram, TikTok, and that gave them a community with like-minded people that are also on their own, and they're engaging and they create it. So it can,
it's positive and negative. If you're consuming all the bad things, then that's where it's going to go wrong.
But the thing is, with AI, you're going to get in you're going to get out what you put in. So if you're putting lots of positive and negative things in, that you're going to get whatever you're putting back out of it, right? But like, I just think human beings will always long for something real.
Of course,
And
human
you can
beings by
authentic
nature, are, the connectable creatures.
Sure.
Ultimately, we want to see a sense of connection with other humans, and anything that is social media based, I don't think it gives the same thing as us sitting down here.
100%. It's why we do this as a studio podcast rather than on a Teams or something like that, because it's completely different when you're sat with a human being than it is over a Teams call or a FaceTime. Don't get me wrong, it enables you to shrink the world, which is fantastic, right? Like you and I could have a FaceTime, you could be in whatever, and you can see what I'm looking at and we can go, it's got its place. But the first thing, when someone creates something with AI, however good the video is or whatever it might be, first thing is that AI? And it's almost like it's got a negative umbrella around it. Not because it can't be useful or helpful, because it's not real.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think the video side of AI is. I don't know how I feel about that.
I think it's
levels
dangerous.
I'll
It's
be
definitely
honest,
getting. I mean, was it 2 years ago you seen that video of Will Smith looked all janky and everything else, and now you wouldn't. Sometimes you just have no idea.
Yes, you don't.
And I think that could be dangerous to the industry.
Especially for kids. I don't mean to put it out there.
Yeah.
They'll
You're a
believe,
kid,
obviously,
and
they're gonna believe it if
making
they see
an
it.
AI video of another kid in school. It's quite something to harbour bullying at its finest, isn't it?
And
I've been doing it and been looking at them like, that's AI, but then you're like, you still question yourself.
Well, 6 months ago you weren't questioning yourself. But
now
But my dad doesn't question it. He'll look at it and go, Elliot, send me a video of some. Oh, I won't go into it, but it's an absurd video. And I'm like, Dad, it's AI.
It's not real.
It's not real.
Yes, it is. Look,
Just look at it.
Yeah,
But-
100%.
So I think there's that side of it. And I do get AI videos sent from people, and you look at them like, that's not real. Exactly what you're saying, especially. But I'm going to use my own family, especially the generation above me, mum and dad side of stuff. So it's, I don't think it's net positive, that side.
No, and it doesn't. Again, it doesn't sit. It's not very well regulated, and without trying to always bring it back to our industry, I think it could also create a lot of misinformation around things that are really, really important at the end of the day. So do I think, back to the question you asked me, how do I think it's going to impact it? I think it's going to reach, to use your bit earlier, a glass ceiling of where we're willing to adopt it. I think it will get pushed. There's a lot of money around it at the minute, obviously, a lot of investment around it. And you say AI, you can get 200 grand investment from somewhere straight away, right? Like it's the next bubble. But like with a lot of things, I think it's going to find its natural level to where it's a net positive, and then it will be ostracized for its negative bit over here, and then I think that's when legislation will probably step in and regulate it slightly better.
I think you'll have good and bad.
like with
I
everything.
think you'll have good and bad. There'll
They
be
said the same
areas.
about the internet, right?
Yeah.
So remember, like
Yeah.
the internet was the worst thing ever. I mean, again, I'm old enough to remember dial-up.
Yes.
Um,
Beep, beep, beep,
No,
beep.
get off the phone! I'm using the internet. Yeah,
I'm on the phone.
that noise when you picked up the phone, though. Oh, for those of you as old as we are, like, oh, that used to hurt. But,
Do you remember? You remember it?
No.
Oh, that's
no,
even
it is.
better.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is. Brilliant.
So you used to. I'm just going to go into this for all the viewers. I apologise. So when you used to pick up your phone and mess up your internet.
Oh, right,
So
yeah.
you-
Oh, yeah.
they come through on your
I'm
phone,
On,
like-
on Call of Duty, and my mate's
No,
phone
no, no,
and then he'd just go off.
No, Call of
It's like,
Duty
oh.
weren't back then.
No, this is long before. No, you couldn't connect your PlayStation to
Nintendo
this.
64 was.
Mate, you could barely load up a Word
Yeah,
document on
yeah.
these computers.
Wow.
Right? So we're talking about literally when, oh God, when was this? So not even 2019.
Yeah, it'd have been before.
In the
internet
90s.
time is when
Yeah,
it's-
so
Oh, yeah,
you would
I would-
literally, your internet connection, your data connection.
I'm 99. I'm 1999. But just in.
You're 1999.
Yeah.
I forget
So
about
if you'd
that.
have said 2000, I'd have just.
We're going to get the dummy out next door.
Got it.
The door's there. You know, like, so your data would come through your phone line, right? And your ADSL line. And if someone was connected, you had to physically go on the computer, connect to the internet. It would go, give you this noise, and eventually you'd be online, where you would surf the web, which was essentially you had to know the bloody web address, type it in, and it would take
Oh,
you to.
my God, yeah, I'm not that old.
Google wasn't a thing.
Google
right?
wasn't a thing. It was
So but if you were on the internet and someone picked up the phone, you would get the noise. So the internet had a noise, and it would go through your lug hole, and it would blow your eardrum.
It wasn't a nice noise.
Yeah, I'm
it?
definitely not
And
old enough for
whoever's
that.
trying
No.
to make a phone call would be like, "Get off the internet! I need to use the phone."
Saying that, you've just got fibre optics put in your house.
yeah.
So usually it's a cabinet. Is it fibre to the house?
Now it is, yeah.
Yeah.
It were copper. and
Still
then-
weren't working the other day, though, was it?
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I know.
But you know, that's where we've come to now, isn't it? Like when you're on a copper line and it's taking it, it's still loaded.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 4 seconds. That's not good enough. Like, it's like the modern person loses their mind. We used to wait 10, 15 minutes to connect to the internet.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
is
Wait for
absolutely
something to
mental.
download 2 days later.
But you know, when the internet first kicked off and the .com bubble and all this sort of stuff, and you're like, oh, all these libraries are going to go out of business. Yeah, no, they did. But the ability to have access to that level of information at your fingertips, and again, what most people use it for was Facebook instead, right? But like when that first came out, but it was unheard of. And then emails became a thing back when you'd get one email a week. So you'd read it. Now you get one email a minute and you shove it in your spam. But
That's one thing that's kept going. The emails say it's fairly old thing, but it's still going
it's what I'm
now.
saying, because we picked what worked.
Yeah, yeah.
And we and we've evolved. And there's loads of things the internet could have been and was threatening to be that it never became.
Yeah.
And then you had the Y2K, everything was going to collapse because everything was going to go to zero and the computers wouldn't know how to handle it.
2000.
Yeah, do you remember
so
that?
in year 2000.
You'd only been one.
In year 2000, everything was going to like collapse.
Everything was gonna go bang.
Everyone
Yeah.
was speculating.
Y2K bug.
Like the
they called it.
2012, the world was going to end in 2012.
Oh yeah, that was just a movie. Wasn't it? There's the Mayan
There's loads
calendar,
of
wasn't it?
stuff like that. You think
I know,
of humans, we love creating
know.
stuff and
That's
they're
it,
like
but we
running
do.
with it, and everyone's like, yeah,
We
I agree with this.
catastrophize everything.
Yeah,
It's
of
going to be
course.
the end of everything we know. No, it's just going to evolve. And that's what I think AI is going to get to. I think AI is going to get to a point where it evolves to a point where it's still useful for us. And then the other stuff will get legislated badly and then reviewed and blah, blah, blah. And then it'll be on to the next thing. But again, it was what really kind of set that in my brain was when Charles was like, do you know what? The hardware just can't, it just would never catch up to the point. Yeah, you're going to have robotics and things like that. But you've always had robotics and things like that. People don't talk about your car hasn't been made by a human being for decades.
Yeah, of
Do you know what I
course.
mean? So, there's always been that element to it. But there's only so far you take it before it's no longer useful.
I think stuff that has the ability to learn itself is
That's a scary
it's
concept, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a scary concept. You're talking about the car building itself. It's been programmed. Stuff
Sure.
that's programmed. But the second you introduce, I don't know, it might be AI. That now I have no idea. But at some point, my perspective on car manufacturing would probably be programmed. So my concern, stuff that learns itself. Obviously, it's a bit daunting.
How does that even work?
What do you mean?
Well, how can
Something
how can
learn-
software learn itself?
Well, so what it does is at the moment it works on a set of probability. So the more information, that's why it just sucks up all the information. So you ask it a question, and it absorbs what it can do that it's never been able to do. It absorbs that volume of information that quickly to spit out an answer based on probability. So you've asked this in this order, you type these words in this order, the probability of the answer that you need is this.
Yeah.
So it's a complete probability model. It's not a thinking model.
No, it will churn out stuff that's
but-
wrong, and I've seen it churn out loads of stuff that's wrong. all
But at the
time.
same point, and then you challenge it and goes, oh yes, you're right to challenge this. Da, 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 here's the right answer.
But
now.
that's it
Because
learning. That's the ultimately it learns on
because it's
you-
worked on a different set of probabilities.
Yeah.
So which is no different to insurance companies do, right?
Like
So
when you say, you are not a robot, and then you've got to click the.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's
What's
basically
that?
that's
What's that?
basically telling.
that's what they use to train AI.
Yeah, that's what they.
Yeah, yeah.
So now
Sorry,
now
what is
AI
that?
knows what that is and what that
You know
is.
those are the recapture things. So when you, if you put your information in or you want to pay for something, click all the
you're a
fire
robot.
hydrants or click all the whatever.
Ah, your robot. Yeah.
yeah. So
when you wanna
that was
pay
a
for
training model for AI.
something. Okay.
So it was So it's
That's
more-
an
Think
interesting
about how
one.
many people are doing that, clicking them traffic lights. Now AI knows what traffic light
But
is.
you know,
We'll pick it up out there.
but it would work. It'd work on. So you know when you have like a traffic light split between 4 different things, and you're like, oh, which one do I click?
Yeah.
So do I click all of them or just click? It's that sort. And it was. It's always been learning for a long, long time.
I bet I get it wrong more times than AI does.
So annoying.
Yeah,
It's so
when
annoying.
You're clicking and you're like, oh, no, you are incorrect.
Yeah, yeah. And he's like, I clicked everything.
I'm not a robot.
But it's true. So again, I think it will get to a point where it becomes
Yeah.
not useful. Like social media has got to a point where now it's cat videos and dancing videos and this, that, and the other, but it has a useful level to it as well. But it could have become like you think how many different things Meta have launched that never got anywhere. And so I don't know. But when it comes to the real world, at the end of the day, people still need food. They still need to get places. They're going to need electric. They're going to need all these things. You are still going to need physical things. You're still going to need human beings to run cable into your house. You're still going to need an electrician to test that cable. You're still
course.
I just can't see, because we're physical, real life human beings in a real world.
I think we're in the electrical industry as well. It's a nice industry to be when the electrical industry is going to be a growing area, isn't it? Of
I can't
course.
see it
It'll have
shrinking.
its
put it that way.
place,
not
but it
shrinking.
won't. It's not going to take over everything.
No,
It's obviously
not
gonna
at
take
all.
over.
You know, we've
so.
been to massive data centers and done power quality analysis
course,
in
I
data
bet you have,
centers. Yeah, because obviously their data centers go down on UPS systems, battery backup power systems, and stuff like that. They cause loads of harmonics as well. Yeah, we've been to site and we've seen there's still people around them. There's still people
Yeah. We've gotta be,
maintaining
isn't
them.
they?
There's still people keeping the infrastructure in, actually working and operating. So people can use AI, for
Yeah.
instance. Do you know what I mean? So it's an interesting field.
Do you think that space is going to continue to grow? Like the growth of data centers?
Yes,
and things like that is
massively
massive
growing.
now, isn't it?
It's massively growing. It's huge.
That is not talked about as much. I don't know whether that's not publicised as much because it might scare people about how much
it's
data is
'cause-
being stored on them.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it is a huge market, and it's absolutely exploding.
Data centers are going all around Ireland and the UK, all around the country, the whole UK.
Do you think things like DNOs and that will start getting involved in that?
Smart grid solutions,
Yeah.
they're definitely so they're coming. We've got just come out with a smart grid solution that ultimately will send alerts out, so you can put it onto a network on the secondary side, so the LV side, and it will reflect the HV side. It will send you alerts for. You can put temperature on the transformers. It can send you an alert out, and it's a web address that you log into. Send alert for floods. Send you alert. So you put it in substations basically. So the integration there is definitely happening with the DNOs. Like they've got LV monitoring equipment and HV. So the relays for HV side,
Right.
they get a distance to fault. So on a HV network, they can get a distance to fault.
So there's a lot of infrastructure going into the DNOs. Isn't it?
Yeah. As far as smart, because it's to locate that fault is a lot of time, and
Yeah.
they get paid from Ofgem and CMLs and CMIs. So customer minutes interrupted and
Right.
customer minutes lost is expensive to them. So they want to get customers back on as quick as possible. So they now have stuff where, for instance, in a substation. So on the LV side, they'll have fuses,
Yeah.
like 400 amp fuse, or could be whatever current it may be. They have stuff that can flip in new fuses and
Right. So you can
yeah.
just rotate it straight in.
Yeah, just flips in new fuses because they ain't got to send someone out to site. So there's loads of things that are happening out there, and
That's quite smart. So then I suppose it sends something. Oh, this one's gone. It's replaced itself essentially. Go and and the maintenance guy goes
stops
in.
people going. If you've got a transient fault that this can capture and stuff like that, just trickling. Doesn't
Yeah.
actually go hard down. So hard down to ground or to phase. Then it'll just flip in a new fuse, and if it's an open still, not open circuit, but still open, not to
fault,
ground
yeah.
or not to phase, then it'll just do that. And you can put these loggers on in a substation. We've got customers that do that, and capture and send alerts for transients, and it'll send out you've got a site that's got a transient and it needs reviewing, and then they can go and use equipment to then locate the faults for underground or over.
Bloody hell. So why don't CA go down a route of sort of leasing product or renting product to these places?
So we do. You can rent products. We don't rent it. We don't rent it. We don't rent it ourselves, but you can rent through CEF, Sunbelt, Inlec. So there's various companies. If you just Google a product, so PEL 113 to rent, or go to your local wholesaler, then they should be able to source you. If they can't, please don't hesitate to contact us, and we'll source somewhere that can hire it.
Because again, that you're not going to need it all the time, but you might want to go in there, check it. I don't necessarily want to spend 4 or 5 grand on a bit of kit. But if I can rent it, do it, provide the service, send it back.
You can, and we'll support. We used to go above and beyond around getting the software, and if you want a nice, pretty report with a click of a button.
Everyone wants a pretty report.
Of course they do.
Everyone
Nice PDF
report.
you can send to a client with your logo on that says, this is your maximum demand. We haven't got enough headroom. You're going to have to have an upgrade.
You're going to have to pay me another 10 grand to come back and fix it. Yeah.
We need to fit a new distribution board and Navitas one.
That'd be nice as well. Lots of them, please, guys.
Yeah. Can we talk about your three-phase board?
You can talk about it. I mean, no one else can see it because it's behind the camera. But
bring it out.
No,
no,
not yet.
Okay.
No, because like I was telling you just before you come on, the container rolled, so it's going to be a delay.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Is it awareness of it?
Yeah. Well,
I'm really impressed.
So
form factor.
So yesterday I put out the day before I put out because it was supposed to be here in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? So I put out a big video on it. Coming soon. Just that and the other. And about 20 minutes after the video went out, I got an email that said the container had rolled. So it's not going to make it out before Chinese New Year. I was like, you're fucking kidding me.
Oh, no.
So at that point, the video got 15,000 views, and I'd had emails and messages. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
It's been delay after delay after delay, and it's because we have agonized over absolutely everything. And it's, you battle with that, like, we want it to be perfect, but we also need to launch something at some point, like, because every delay costs us so much money. But at the same point, you never get the second chance at the first impression. And when it comes to Navitas, we've worked so hard to build a reputation of, do you know what I mean?
You go above and beyond. That's what I can
really
see
try.
from your competitors.
But
as far as
first thing everyone says is the color because it's black. But that was Jimbo's fault. You guys do a bit like Jimbo, don't it?
Yeah.
So when we had the first prototype in here, it was white, same as everyone else's. Same colour as our single phase, right? And it had the green lock on it. And we're like, ooh, green. You know what I'm like? So yeah, cool. And then we looked at it, and then Jimbo come in and goes, yeah, and give us some feedback on it because he fits three-phase boards every day of course. Week, right? So he looks at it and goes, why does everyone make their boards white or grey? Why don't they make them black? So what do you mean? He goes, well, these go up in factories and warehouses and this, that, and the other.
They do get dirty, don't they?
Straight away, right? They get grubby, and he was like, well,
it's got a good point, Jimbo. Solution there.
If they make them black, then you wouldn't see all that. I was like, ding. So I call my business partner, Paul, and I says, hey, Paul, why don't people make black three-phase consumer units? Cost too much. What do you mean it costs too much? Well, you can't use the same paint rig you do for your single phase for a start, because you can't. If you put black paint in that, you'll never get it. Like if you use black paint, that's the rig that does black paint and nothing else. Because you just can't.
So it's the cost on the
paint
paint side rather.
So you got the cost on the paint. You have to put a resin in the paint so it doesn't scratch.
Be that paint can't be. Sorry to jump in. It can't be that much more expensive.
It's economies of scale. So when you think about how much of that sort of that white matte paint we use for single phase compared to how much you use on three phase, it's huge, right? It's vast. So you buy it in gazillion litres. But again, because you have to use a separate paint rig that's not running as often, you got those production costs, the resin that has to go in it, and then even there's another bit like a chemical that's going in it so it doesn't fingerprint mark it. It's because it's a shit of a thing because it shows up
paint. Black does show.
It
like
shows up that sort of
stuff,
but it doesn't show up dirt, which is great. So you win one way or lose the other. So we've had to pump all of that in, and God, the amount of that's why you see so many black three-phase consumers around the buildings. Because then we had it. Then I had a guy called Gavin from Coombs Electrical. Shout out to Gav. He come down, had a look at it, and he was like, could do with being. I can't remember. We said it's something to do with the door and the standing, so we changed that. And then Jimbo came back in and goes, "Oh, do you know what? You should make it deeper." I was like, "What?" Should make it deeper because at the minute all the boards are however deep they are, and you can't, if you're running a big SWA onto a 250 or whatever, you can't get a gland around it. And if you get the gland around it, the hex gland, you can't get your grips around it to actually terminate it because obviously it's got an aperture that you can feed your conductors through. I was like, all right, we'll make it deeper. So I got the biggest gland. It was Whisker, shout out to Whisker, and got their measurements. And then I said to Paul, I was like, yeah, we need to make it 83 mil deep. He's like, no, to be biggest board in the UK. Like, yeah, do it.
That's what we want.
He's like, big costs. Do it. So it's the fattest as well. So you've got the curved lid on it. It's deeper. The way the mechanisms work, the way the extension boards work, the way
It's really nice.
So you can also it's a hybrid unit. You can turn that into a 250 board as well.
Can you?
So yeah, everything from a 12 way above has a 250 buzz bar on it, which we phase down into 125. But you get an extension kit, put it onto a spreader box, and can make it 250.
Oh, nice.
So it's again, we've tried the future.
You thought about everything, haven't you? With this?
Tried.
You have literally got every
You say
corner.
that, but I guarantee when we launch it, we'll launch it in Northern Ireland first. If we've missed something, I'll find out within a week, and I'll be fuming.
Yeah.
I'll be fuming. So, but what I'd like to do actually, and I'm going to get you guys on camera, is we're building a test rig in Unit 3. Obviously, been on Unit 3. And that bit at the back where I think Jay's got a drum kit at the minute, whatever. That's actually, we're going to build that as a little test room, test lab in there. So we've got one in the UK as well. And I'd love some of your stuff so we can put things on test and show people. I'm going to have a wall of shame. That's right, guys, a wall of shame from other competitors. So when we have people in, so look, this is ours. And I'm not going to publish these, but you can see these on the wall.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's my plan. Jay won't let me do it, but we'll see what happens. But so it's just about kind of, you know, making sure that everything we're putting out is number one, and then just pushing it really. What one person did say to me that they wouldn't be able to use it because of the colour, because it's grade 2 listed buildings.
So you need certain...
and I said, in that spec? And I said, I hope it is, because that's British heritage at risk there if it's not. He's like, oh yeah, it's all spec Schneider. I was like, well, don't worry about it then. So, I mean, Schneider's range is phenomenal. When we were developing that, right, the amount of Schneider patents that we came across, come up with a great idea, let's do this. And then put it in there, and the guys at the factory would do their bit, and then the engineers and the legal guys would look at it and go, can't patent. Who? Schneider.
Okay.
We're not taking on Schneider. They're 36 billion a year, right? So it's like, you know, there's levels.
So the pages and stuff.
And David and Goliath only works in the movies, right? Like, it's not a real thing in the real world. So then we go, okay, let's re-engineer it. Do it this way. Yeah, okay, do it this way. Do that. Patent. Who? Schneider. Fuck.
Oh, no.
And it was constant. It was like, come on. So
did you have a guy that analyses patents?
Yeah.
And he has a look.
Everything. Absolutely everything.
It's quite an interesting one.
We're going to file one on that. So again, the way the board sits, the way the lid goes, there's nothing like it on that. I'll show you the lid mechanism that goes on before you leave.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely buzzing. It is unbelievable amount of work that's gone into it, years and years. I mean, to call it a love project isn't fair because I'm almost at a love-hate point with it now. But once it gets here, I'll be back in love with it.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's been the biggest challenge of my professional career to get that to market. So, but because it's so different. When you're bringing something else that, like with the single phase, all we had to do was take everyone else's, keep what was bad.
Yep.
Let me reverse that very, very quickly. Keep what was good and get rid of what was bad. And then make a few tweaks here, and then service, deliver it right, yada, yada, yada. So when you're developing something from completely scratch, that is, okay, it's a three-phase board, but it's a completely new concept on a way of
design,
doing something. God.
That takes more than what...
more than you think.
Honestly, I completely underestimated how hard it would be. And don't forget, we've got 14 full-time engineers whose only job it is to either improve what we already make or make something new.
Yeah.
One epic job, right? But and they worked hard on this full-time for 2.5, 3 years. Mental. The amount of work.
Done a good job. You know, they've come out with a product that ultimately it looks
and
better.
People
than the
like to
competitors.
use, like you're saying, with certain bits of stuff with your.
If you're in a factory, you don't want a whiteboard. I've just thought, why would you want a?
Yeah,
you know,
it's certain place. It's what they're used to, isn't it? I mean, we talk about it with you guys. Like, it's if someone's used to using a particular type of tester, that's what they use.
Yeah, that's
what they use.
That's one of our things, because obviously it's like trying to get someone from to them to us.
Well, it's like Elliot said at the beginning. It's like, okay, is it cheaper? And is it better?
Yeah.
Then I'll have a look at it. So if you don't cross those two hurdles first,
that's it.
It's
hard.
Like
it's
pushing water uphill, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
So,
and changing people's mindset, and we've been able to do it on multiple occasions with our competitors, especially with these units and our 8336s. It just takes time, relearning and that extra support that we offer. And also we come to site. We'll come to site and actually.
That I think is really key that you guys don't push enough. Is how you, I suppose it's your background anyway, isn't it? But it's like how you guys will come to site for technical support. That's not common.
No.
It's not coming in any part of our
No, it's
industry.
not. It's not at all. To be honest, around
I mean, the amount of miles you guys do is nuts. Fair play.
We do a lot. Get
of
there
miles.
in a fairly short.
Bet you haven't
amount
got
of time.
electric cars.
No electric cars. I can't.
Hybrid. Hybrid. That's,
They're
that's a
hybrid.
tax
I've got a
dodge.
hybrid.
That's a tax
but I
dodge.
carry the battery. Cut that bit out.
Yeah. But,
But yeah. Do you charge your hybrid?
Mine needs charging.
Oh, you've got one without a starter motor, haven't
You
you?
must do.
That's crazy.
First
I didn't-
time, when
why
I
would
got
they
it,
make a Why would they make a car without a starter motor?
I don't know.
I don't know.
And I've always thought they all have starter motors, but
But yeah, if you
It's
were
got-
to leave my car for probably a month on 0,
Yeah.
it will die.
it just doesn't work. I'm like, well.
Well, yeah, I think
You know-
that's what's been happening, and ever since
Did they
I've
tell
charged
you? Did they tell you it hasn't got a starter motor? Can you hear?
They've
can you
told
hear,
me
when,
to keep
when you
it
press
charged.
start. Can you hear? Can you hear?
But you just put it in maintain, and it lasts for like over a week, and then you just charge it up again. So it's not too bad.
See, I just put petrol in mine, turn it on and off.
yeah.
dinosaurs.
Oh, mate, whatever. Powered by dinosaurs,
Yeah,
that's me.
it works. It works.
The amount of money I pay for that car, I'm going to have it for a long time.
Nice drive.
Oh, lovely, mate. Honestly, it's
Expensive?
absolute-
Expensive on
yeah,
fuel?
absolutely ridiculous. It's the
Okay.
worst. It's the worst
As
financial.
you're driving
decision
it,
I've
you're
ever
like,
made.
oh.
Yeah, I love
No.
it. I love, it doesn't
Nice.
make an engine noise. It says pound a litre, pound a litre, pound a litre.
Okay,
That's what-
okay.
So,
Ding, ding, ding,
honestly,
ding,
so
ding.
like I said, I live 6 miles away from the house, right?
You haven't
6
got
miles away from the unit. It's an Audi, so it tells you in 5 mile increments how much petrol you got left. Between here and home, I'll lose 20 miles of petrol. In 6 miles. And I'm not driving like a nutter, apart from the slip road. I love
Okay.
that bit. Straight there. But as soon as I get to 75, back to 70, like, cool, chill. Back into eco mode.
to the saving.
Yeah, I mean, the tax on it is horrendous. It's like £600 a year to tax it. Insurance on it is absolutely stupid. Just general service.
Nice car, though. It's a lovely car.
Yeah, but it's a nice car.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing I have that is like, that's
I think there's one thing that I
my
find
little- my
really
little toy.
important because I'm so tall. I always want to be. If I'm driving, I'd like to be in a want to be in a nice car.
Yeah.
For driving.
Well, that's why my missus hates my car. My missus is 6'1". Right?
yeah.
It's too low.
Okay.
So she's like, I don't know. She got a nice big 4x4. So
Yeah.
but yeah, she won't get a mic. She's like,
Just won't get in it.
No, she does. She's good. God, my missus.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, she just like that's why she doesn't like it. She's like, I don't want to drive it. I had a 5 Series before. She loved that. But yeah, this one she's like too low. No, I won't do it.
Fair enough. What to mention to you? Little bit of something that's a bit funny. We went to a house around the corner from this studio anyway.
Right.
Before looked at the address, Will, and we knocked on the door. There's this gentleman that comes out and they're like, "Hello, is Will in?" he was like, "Yeah, honestly."
on our Outlook
I won't
invite,
say the
can-
address just in
yeah,
case
yeah.
there's anything, but on our invite. So where's us me? Oh, hello, Tony. Oh yeah, not your Tony, but you're knocking on the door, and he goes, "Nah, Will's not from here."
Really? Do you know
Yeah.
what? To be fair, we had one guest on, James Live Sparks. I don't know if you've seen him on Instagram.
I think of it.
He was absolutely paranoid because he thought we'd set him up because he kept going. It sent him to a police station. Yeah, because he's a new build. This whole estate's it weren't here 2 years ago. It didn't exist.
That would be why.
Yeah, so he was like, he sent me to police station. I thought, you set me up
Set
here.
me up. Oh no,
So,
back
yeah,
home.
no,
Yeah.
But so if I get a complaint later from some chaps
Yeah,
on the
so
two lads,
apologies. It's like, well, we even showed the address. No, it's not round here. That is here, but no, that's not here.
like, to be fair, there's a rep Andrew who does all our shipping, and it sent him to someone's house.
Yeah.
So it might be the same game.
We thought we were at his house today.
Yeah, might have to go to him. Look, if anyone knocks for us, right, we're over here. Just send him this way. Yeah. 'Cause
we
when
will do.
we tell people, we're over by the harvester, and
Yeah.
they put the harvester in, they can find them fine. But
Yeah.
this address, sometimes it takes them to the big
Is
Sony
this
site.
new? This all new?
Yeah, let's
that'll
say
be
this
why,
was a
that'll be
field 2 years ago.
why. It's a Google car being round again, or?
I don't know, probably. But I have no idea, to be fair. Probably haven't found us yet. So look, before we close off, I think there's something that I'd like to talk about, if you guys are comfortable talking about it, which would be you guys also suffered a massive loss. And I think the whole industry did when obviously, and most people will know this, when obviously the industry lost Julian. That you guys are such a close-knit team.
Yeah.
And as a bloke, I don't get emotional already. As a bloke, what a guy.
What a guy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything you want to say on Jules?
Yeah, Julian was someone that brought me and Zach in, and he's someone that believed in people. It's quite sad talking about it. 'Cause he's
hard,
such a, he's such a pinnacle in the industry. He's a guy that I've started reading his case studies again, and some of the stuff he's written over the years, and it's a big loss to the business.
Huge.
Huge loss to the business and the team. It's just really sad. It's really sad, and him in the industry, he was always a major player around test equipment, and just the gentleman he is really, really sad for the team, and we're all gutted around it. However, it's
because one thing I always took from Jules whenever I met him at trade shows or teams meetings with him or this and the other, and obviously he's one of the reasons we're working with you guys. Is that he was such a people-focused person. Yeah, like really, really cared about people. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up with you guys here, because I think like behind all this, behind AI, behind whatever, our industry is a people-focused industry. Like, there's that old adage that people buy from people and this, that, and the other. But at the center of everything is people. At the center of everyone who watches this and clicks on this and is in their van listening to it or whatever. Like, human beings make everything go around. And sometimes, unfortunately, we lose some really key people. And I think it's important to take a moment sometimes and just appreciate the impact. Like someone like Julian, like he was a huge part of your lives. I knew him from a distance. And I remember like the sadness I felt. Obviously, we knew he wasn't well and things like that. But the sadness when obviously finally lost him was just like, that's something that I think needs a moment sometimes just to appreciate it. But
he's it's not good. But he's been such an impact on us all, hasn't he? Let's look at he's had such an impact on me personally, and the rest of the team. He all believed in us all, and ultimately we're here to carry the. There's
a legacy that he's
left a legacy behind, and he's been in the industry. He was in the industry his whole life until the day he passed, and he still had an active role within the business until that. And so that's it's sad as it is. It's
no, I don't want to leave the like end the podcast on a side note. It's more of a like I think it'd be nice to just recognise that, and I don't because sometimes time passes and people forget, but I don't think people should. I think he was an absolute beacon for the industry, and I think it'd be that's by talking about people and remembering people's
it's important to talk about it as well. It's something that it's important to talk about it, and he was a total asset to the business. Us at Value, I'm really grateful to have known him, and it's just sad, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, guys, right, on that note, again, not to end on a sad note, but I just want to really thank these guys for coming in and putting their whole heart on the sleeve there. And guys, honestly, I'm not just saying this because they sponsor it. I'd say it even if they didn't. In fact, I did say it before you sponsored it. I know you've been around 30 years, but you really are ascending. The equipment is absolutely nuts. So if you, when I say I don't understand most of it, that's not me saying it as a catchphrase. Genuinely, like you found, obviously, you had to learn it all from scratch. Yeah.
So these are my bread and butter, really. The power and energy logging side of stuff.
It is huge. So if you've got any questions, or you're like, side hustles, or want to rent them, or got any questions around it at all, get in touch with the guys. Social medias, websites where you can rattle off.
I'm Elliot _CA UK. So please on Instagram or LinkedIn. You can connect with me on that as well. Elliot Jose. So
there you go. Zach?
So my email is zhartley@chauvin-arnoux.co.uk, and also Instagram Zach CA UK, and LinkedIn Zach Hartley.
So guys, I'll put all their links and that in the show notes anyway, so you don't have to worry about writing them down. And you can just click them, send them a message, get in touch. Guys, from me and everyone here at Talk Up, Jimbo and Jay, I want to thank you guys for all your support this season so far.
Cheers.
We're only halfway through, so
it's been a pleasure.
And guys, thanks for making the trip. And remember, guys, the joy is in the journey, and take care.
Thanks for having us.
This is Talk Up. Turn it up. More than noise, more than talk. This is where the industry speaks. Talk up. Talk up. Talk up. My life, pressure on, conversation moves. Real voices in the room, nothing to lose. From the sight to the standards, from the graph to the truth. If it matters to the trade, we bring it through. No script, no spin, no watered down takes. We ask the questions that shift real stakes. Industry moving, the tempo's up. If you're still listening, talk up. turn it louder. Lean in it. This is the signal. Turn the conversation up. This is the voice behind the power. Feel the pressure rise. Feel the pressure rise. UK voices, real insight. From the van to the board to the mic plugged in. If it shapes the trade, we're locked in. Manufacturers, sparkies, futures, collide standards. Get tested when the questions apply. We don't duck topics, we don't smooth the edge. Progress come from challenge, not comfort. Pledges, no politics, no borrowed ground. Independent voices, volume turned down. So the truth hits harder when the bass cuts out. That's what Talk Up's about. This is movement. This is momentum. This is now. Listen more, build better. Talk less, listen more, build better. Talk. Go. The conversation starts here. Talk. Real voices, real standards. Talk up. Talk up.